Today we're going to count down the 5 ways that we were able to retire early.
Yes, and stay to the end to hear how we could have retired a little sooner and what our biggest regret was.
C.S. Lewis said, "You're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream." We're John and Bev, and after a lifetime of hard work, our retirement goal is to travel the world and finish our lives with many memories we've made along the way. We are the Retirement Travelers. Come along as we travel the world on this crazy retirement adventure.
If you've happened upon our channel, let me just tell you a little bit about ourselves. We are retired.
Yay!
And we love to travel. We've been to over 50 countries so far, and our plan is to go everywhere. In 2020, we were heading to Europe, and we were doing Italy, Switzerland, Greece, Croatia, all the Balkan states, and then we were going to come back across the pond, as they say, and we were going to take the Canadian Rocky Mountaineer across the Canadian Rockies with some friends. Then we were heading back to Europe, to Germany and Denmark. But COVID happened and we had to pivot and make a new plan for ourselves.
That's right. If you've been following our channel, you know that we spent the majority of 2020 traveling around the United States. We bought an Airstream in March so that we could visit all the national parks and state parks along the way and live socially distanced. It was really a great plan. We ended up seeing 26 states, 22 national parks, and we drove over 19,000 miles this year.
He drove, not me.
It was great fun.
When we started this trip, we knew nothing about RV travel.
Well, except for the Robin Williams movie RV. I think we watched it like 5 times.
I think we watched it 20.
And laughed every time.
It's a great movie if you've not seen it. It kind of scared us a little bit,
It
didn't
did. And we were, maybe that's why we had never RV'd earlier.
But we learned as we went. That's really the way you've got to do it. We watched a lot of YouTube and we learned as we went. We traveled the entire summer. We were able to stay safe from COVID, and we did something right. We came back healthy.
We met a lot of awesome people on this trip, and one of the most common questions we got was, how did you guys retire so early? Yeah. And maybe it's because I look like I'm 29. I don't know.
I know.
And the question usually came from young people who said, you know, we are living their dream.
So we thought we would tell our story today and perhaps inspire others, especially those younger than us.
That's right.
Younger than 29. And maybe what our story can help you figure out how you can do it too.
Right. I graduated from college with a degree in mechanical engineering, and I worked for Alcoa Aluminum for 34 years. Bev has a degree in advertising design, but she chose to stay home and focus on raising the kids and taking care of the home, which was a huge help. It allowed me to really focus on my career. I started off as a project engineer, but I knew I needed to move up in the company if we were going to be able to achieve our goal of retiring at age 55. Yes, I always believed if I did a good job that opportunities and promotions would come my way. I started every day off with a great attitude, and people would say I had a contagiously positive attitude. And I tried to create a work environment where people wanted to come and work hard and work together as a team and make it fun. And we had a lot of fun over the years working at Alcoa.
I know you did.
That's not to say I was happy being pigeonholed into a job. I was always looking for new opportunities and the ways to learn and grow and take some risks. I think the best advice I can give to you is take some risks in your job, learn some new things, step out of your comfort zone and try some new things, and that will enable you to move up in your company.
Don't you think that companies are looking for leaders who can create a positive work environment for everyone around them? Well, long story short, John was able to move up through the company through many leadership opportunities, and I'm sure it was your positive attitude.
Absolutely. Another aspect of my career choice was I stayed with the same company for my entire career. The main reason was there was a pension available after 30 years, but I think it added to the stability of working there. Many of the people that I started with, I ended my careers with, and it created a great work environment all those years and stability that was really fun.
Yeah. So many people talk about finding your passion, but don't you think that a better idea is to find a great work environment where you are surrounded by people that are creative, problem solvers, support each other, and doesn't that lead to finding your passion in work?
Absolutely. And I had that in my career. You know, you're always going to have a bad boss or a bad coworker at some point, but it's really your attitude and how you adjust to that that really makes the difference. So again, if you find yourself in a career choice that you just don't like, you know, change your position. Go to a different company. Do whatever you need to find that great work environment and have that passion. I think the passion is key. If you have that, then work is fun, and you can move up in the company and make some money and retire early. Item number 4. Max out your retirement contributions and save, save, save. For us, we maxed out every available retirement contribution that we could do, like 401ks, IRAs, HSAs, any of those mechanisms to help us save for retirement, we would max those out. So later in my career, we were putting in over 30% of my salary into savings, and that was a key enabler for us. And the other thing is, we did not touch it. This was off limits, and it was saved for retirement.
Yeah, and another thing we did is that we knew where our money was going. We didn't live on a really tight budget, but what we did is we knew how much money we had to spend every month, and we tried to stay within that. I think some people advocate for knowing where every penny goes, but for us, that really didn't fit our lifestyle. But we knew what we could spend, and we stayed within that. We could have done a better job at that, though.
Yeah, we could have.
Okay, this leads us to point number 3. Get a good financial advisor and get them early.
Absolutely. We're so thankful that we have great advisors now, but we missed some opportunities earlier in our life, and we don't want you to make that same mistake.
Yeah. It's important to save. But part of saving is investing. And if you aren't investing, you're missing out on some opportunities.
Absolutely. So it's not only investing, it's looking at all aspects of your retirement, and we learned a whole lot. We actually went to a retirement class a few years ago, and we learned a lot at a little community college. You never get done learning.
Yeah.
So we happen to use a firm called URS Advisory. It's a younger couple named Eric and Julia, and they are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. They're smarter than we are.
Much smarter, as are most people are smarter than us, but they are definitely smarter than us.
Yeah, they're young, they have energy, they listen to us, they created a plan for us, and we still meet with them probably twice or
3 times a year.
3 times a year. I think we meet with them more than 3 times actually, but officially we sit down with them. They go through all of our finances. They tell us our projections of what we can expect. They look at all aspects, and they really stay on top of things. If the market changes, they make a phone call to us, and they tell us where we're at, and they tell us what they're doing.
They even keep an eye on our budget to make sure we're not overspending. So
Yeah,
really
but
big
if
help.
you don't have a financial advisor, you really need to do that, and that was a mistake we made early on in our career. We could have made some really good decisions earlier, but we're okay.
All right, and we'll put their link in the description below.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they would be glad to work with you either by Zoom or however. They do a great job.
Hey, we are down to number 2, and it's a biggie. Live within your means. I heard a gentleman once say, you have to get even before you can get ahead. And what he meant was you have to get out of debt before you can start building wealth. This is a really important concept. And, we couldn't have retired if we were in debt. So in the end of John's career, towards once the children were older, we started thinking about let's just pay off our mortgage. And we had only tried to carry a mortgage and not to go into debt for other things like cars. So we had a mortgage. We paid it off earlier. And that was a big goal for us.
It was a very big goal. I mean, over the years, we were heavily influenced by Dave Ramsey and really working hard to get out of debt. And lately, we've been I would say the last 5 years following the FIRE movement. If you're not familiar with that, that's financially independent, retire early. And it's very, very common now for 20s, 30s, 40-year-olds trying to look to retire even younger than we did in their 30s and 40s. So, you know, some of the mistakes that we made, we weren't able to retire obviously that early, but we still feel pretty good about retiring at 55.
Yeah. And we see some mistakes that we see people make. I guess it's our age. We think we know everything. But we see people make mistakes with their children especially. A lot of children are, you know, they spend a lot of money. They're very expensive. They have activities. They have a lot of things going on with them. But for us, one of the things we tried to do was to not spend a lot on weddings. All of our children are married, all 5 of them, and we tried to set a budget for that. We also tried to, we didn't send them to private school. We sent them to public school. We also sent them to public colleges. And that really affected a lot.
And they all have good jobs now. They're all married, and it worked out all right.
And they're all happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we mentioned earlier, we also bought used cars. We didn't buy new cars. Another thing that we did, and this really influenced us as we, and really influencing us now, we decided to travel, but not travel with expensive vacations.
Bev does a lot of planning on all of our trips, and we tend to not use tour guides. And a great example, do you remember when we stayed in Beijing at the $8 hotel?
Yeah, it had the best breakfast
But
and the worst bed.
Worst. It was like concrete.
It was like concrete. But it was the experience we were after.
It was all about the experience.
Yeah.
And when we were there, we had an option of taking a $60 bus up to the Great Wall or a $1 train ride.
Yeah.
We chose the $1 train ride, and we still have tremendous memories of that. So
you can read about that on our website. There's an article about our racing to the in the train station. It was one of the best experiences we had.
As retirement travelers, we're looking for to make memories and have great experiences.
Yeah. And so reining in these experiences, especially if you want to travel, we did cruises, and one of the things we did on cruises was we bought the cheapest room there was. The boat still goes to the same places as the expensive rooms. And what was the big advantage in that for you?
Well, in the middle of the boat, it doesn't rock as much, and it was dark all the time, so we could take naps in the afternoon.
Midday naps. Oh man, that was good.
So bottom line is live within your means and get out of debt, and it opens up all kinds of opportunities should you choose to want to retire early. That was a big factor.
Yeah.
And our number one tip is to downsize your life.
Yeah, and don't just downsize at retirement, but downsize early on. I think if you have a minimalist mindset, and some people do this very well, you can read more about our minimalist ideas and our journey to downsize on our website. We have several articles about travel and articles about minimalism and downsizing your life.
So several years ago, we had a larger house in Kentucky and a condominium down here in Florida. And we thought that's what retirement was. We'd be snowbirds and going back and forth. And I tell you, that was not a big mistake.
Yeah.
There's so many hidden costs in having 2 homes, extra responsibilities and fees, and it just wasn't worth it for us. So we decided to sell our home. We gave away about 90% of our possessions to our kids who needed them at the time.
And other people.
Yeah. You know, it worked.
We even had a garage sale.
Yep, it worked out great for them, and we got rid of the stuff. And you know what? It was really liberating.
Yeah.
It allowed us to just have one condominium now that we can just shut the door and leave and go travel. And it's just been wonderful. It is definitely...
It's freed up our mind. It's
Yes, it
freed up
has.
our energy. It's freed up so much. So, that really changed our life. It enabled us to do what we're doing today.
That's
because
right.
it gave us less to think about, and we could focus on what is it that we really want.
We thought we needed a bigger house, and what we've learned this year is that living in 200 square feet, we're just as happy or happier than living in a house.
That Airstream was pretty small, but halfway through the trip we realized, we're good. We're a good team, and We learned how to be a good team together this summer, even better.
Well,
And-
you have to be a good team in 200 square feet. Let me tell you that.
I mean, I did have to crawl over you to get in bed every night, but it really did show us that we didn't need a big house to be happy.
No. So this leads us to our number one mistake or regret over the years that hopefully that you'll learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, our number one regret is that we bought big houses. Lifestyle creep is a real thing. And when you have more money, you spend more. You buy a bigger house. You buy a nicer car. You spend. And it's all, it just happens before you realize you've
did.
let it down.
So if we had it to do over again, we would not have built the bigger or bought the bigger houses, which
Yeah.
you need more furniture and more things to go in.
Yeah.
And we would have probably spent that money on saving or
Putting it on-
travel experiences
Yeah,
with our kids.
one of our biggest regrets is that we didn't take our kids to 100 countries.
Yeah.
We regret that. We should have lived, if we could have lived in a smaller house, the house you started your career off in, and we just stayed there until our children were raised and until we retired. And then when you got transferred, if we had stayed in the same size house or even downsized at that point when we
Yeah.
had no children, we could have saved a lot more money, and that would have enabled us to travel with our kids more. But here's the good news. We are going to make up for it, because what we didn't do with our children, we're going to do with our grandkids.
We're going to include them in on as retirement travelers, and we hope to take them around the world with us and let them experience some
Yeah.
wonderful things. It's about memories. So
It's about memories.
hopefully you've learned some things from our lifetime of things that we've done right and things that we've done wrong. And hopefully you won't make those same mistakes, and you'll follow along with us as
Yeah.
the retirement travelers as we go around the world.
Yeah, and be sure to hit subscribe. We hope to have many, many years of adventure ahead of us. So hit subscribe, ring the bell, follow along with us, leave comments, leave likes. You can even dislike if you like, but we hope you like our videos.
That's right.
See you next time.
Yes. Join us on our next adventure by clicking the subscribe button below. Ring the bell to get notified of the next video and leave us some comments. We love reading them.